of our colleague, Zijay Yan. He was brilliant. He was a man of grace. He was a man of kindness. We all come here carrying grief, carrying the weight of loss from the tragedy of 2 years ago. Students, postdoctoral fellows, faculty, and staff from across this campus and from our own department. I thank Chancellor Roberts and Dean White for their support. And I give special thanks to the wizards of the staff, especially within APS, who have helped with today's events, even while dealing with their own. This is hard. We thank Professor Doug Chrissy, Zijay's mentor and friend, who has traveled here to give the first Zijay Yan Memorial Lecture so that we can learn more of our departed friend. We have gratitude to the committee members and friends who worked to create this space, to Jinsung Wang and to Ronit Friedman, who provided the design and the artwork of the plaque, to DJ Fedor of the UNC Makerspace Beam, to graduate student Charlie Allen for the input from our graduate students, to Heidi Harkins, and to Daniel Wittis, the UNC landscape architect who designed the site, and to Wu Bin Bai and Wei Yu for their special contributions. All of us working through grief in its many forms. Daniel told me about the plantings for the garden. They include Chinese and Asian varietals, including Edgeworthia and Chinese Mahonia, meant to honor Zijay's Chinese heritage. Species from faraway lands travel the earth following the migrations of people. This is Zijay's story. People from China have traveled here for centuries and have contributed to the US culture and economy in countless ways. After all, the United States has been and will always be a nation of immigrants. And so Zijay, an only child, left his parents in Hubei province, China, in 2011 to attend Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in New York and joined Doug Chrissy's group. He did not know then that Doug was to become his friend for the rest of his life. Think about this. He traveled 7,000 miles to do that. In honoring Zijay today, it is fitting we recognize all that take that journey. The countless undergraduate and graduate students, the postdoctoral fellows, faculty and colleagues from China who choose to study here, enriching our scholarship and our lives. In 2019, Zijay arrived at UNC where he joined our faculty. Zijay reminds us that UNC is truly a university of immigrants all. We were proud in APS to welcome Zijay to APS, to Chapel Hill with his family. We were thrilled. Proud as we always are to welcome our newcomers to our families and our community to start a new life here. It wasn't supposed to be like this. Totem. Several years ago, I was giving a tour in Beam, our makerspace, to a group of the Board of Trustee members. From the back of the group, Professor Rudy Colorado Mansfeld, anthropology professor, in his tall, sonorous voice, yelled, "It's a totem." I was telling the group how we made pens from the fallen branches of the Davy poplar tree and how treasured they were by UNC alumni. Rudy continued that a totem was a symbol of a family, an object imbued with extraordinary meaning. A simple pen, but made from the branch of a treasured tree, now carrying all that we are, Carolina. We all have different responses to grief. Mine is to make something. In one way, it feels futile. as if objects can address a loss so profound. But what else do we do? Where there is no sense, we need to create meaning. And so came the idea of 3 benches, one for Carolina, one for Zijay's family in Apex, one for his parents in Hubei, China. But a bench alone is not a totem. The totem is the hands that shape it, and it's in the tree. The tree. I turned to my good friends Susan Cohen, Tom Bithell, and Mike Everhart of Carolina Tree Heritage, whose goal is to make sure that Carolina's finest trees, felled by disease or age or storm, have a second life as totems. I thank them for their committed part to get us this wood from the great Carolina tree. This tree, a gorgeous post oak tree, a Quercus stellata, was quite a star. Its acorn sprout first looked upon the Carolina blue sky sometime around 1770. And it grew year after relentless year, building itself from the air, from the Carolina blue sky. Because that's what trees do. If you walk over to Old East now, you can see the 5 young oak trees that aspire to our oak's glory. Like those first UNC students, you can put your hands around their trunks and feel their growing strength. Our tree was, in human years, a young adult when welcomed Old East to UNC's campus in 1793. Trees have more metaphors than the thousands of species that cling to an oak. It is said that oaks grow for 300 years, live for 300 years, and die for 300 years. Alas, our great tree was a comparative youngster when cut down. But it saw great things. The first students on campus would have wrapped their hands around its then slim trunk to shake the acorns down. The students leaving for wars over the years have said goodbye in a hug their arms could not complete around the growing tree. Our tree gave shade and comfort to countless students needing calm or perhaps professing love. When Mike Everhart first took tools to the cross-section of the tree to make the table that now sits in South Building, he found scars from the 1800s from students who were hunting squirrels. The scars dark, scorching the rings before and after. The wood growing around those scars is called reaction wood. It's dramatically different than the rings before and the rings after. The 100 gallons of water each day coursing up the tree to the leaves, to the light, move over the scar, and the whole tree is changed forever. And so are we. Year after year, the rings of the tree return to normal, while the scar is wrapped deeper. But the scar is forever there, never forgotten. Year after year, ring upon ring, the scar finds itself in the deepest part of the tree. It's now in the heartwood. Zijay, never forgotten, always in our heart. The bench. In our hands, working the wood of a tree of 250 years is a humbling experience. You do not judge this tree, this wood, picking a pretty grain against one with splits or darkened by a long-lost fungus. You hope that you look this good when you hit 250. You are thankful. You breathe in the oak scent that fills the shop. and thereby breathe, as this tree did, the Carolina blue sky from hundreds of years ago. From Nico, Alexis, Lynn, Beam, from all of APS, from Susan, Mike, and Tom, this bench is our totem. Zijay loved nature. We have a wonderful picture of him in a park in graduate school, fishing at a lake in upstate New York. Zijay and I talked many times about how the US and China know time differently. We commonly measure in the US our 250-year-old tree against the American Revolution, while China's history is written in dynasties stretching back thousands of years. But now I want to know if CG went fishing amongst the oaks in the parks of Jingmen, and if his favorite tree was a native Chinese oak tree. I like to think that CJ would love resting on a bench made from a Carolina tree in the Carolina blue sky. I will talk to CJ here. Talk of climbing trees in the woods of Philadelphia and Jingmen. Talk of light. Talk of time. And talk of kindness. Thank you.